Kimberly with Services by Kim. Today we're going to go over a few things to help you figure out if you're really in labor or if it's just false labor. One of the telltale signs is everyone tells you, did your water break? So most of the time it's not like it's in the movies. There's not a big pop, there's not a big gush. Sometimes you don't know. So a few tips to help you figure out if your water has broke or not. What they won't tell you is when your water breaks, it most likely will not stop. It's going to continuously come out until the baby is out. So with that said, if your water's broken and you're not exactly sure, what they have you do is put a pad on, go to sleep maybe an hour or so, see if you've completely soiled the pad. Another thing that we usually tell our clients to help them know if they're in labor or not is with the contractions. So when you're having contractions, you want to make sure you want to time them. You want to go from the duration of the contraction as well as the time between the contractions. By duration, I mean the beginning of the contraction to the end, and the time between, I mean from the end of one contraction to the beginning of the next one. There's plenty of apps that you can use to help you time your contractions, or you can have your partner do that as well. If your contractions are consistent, that usually means that you are in labor. Typically, if your contractions are not consistent, it's usually false labor. When laboring at home, I usually tell my moms, if you can't ignore your contractions, then that is the time to call. Usually, if you can ignore your contractions and you don't notice if they're consistent or not, you're either in the early phase, or they could also be Braxton Hicks, which are practice contractions. Another way that you can figure out if you're really in labor or not is to change positions or activity levels. So for example, if you were sleeping and you felt the contractions, I would have my client get up, walk around, sit on the ball, anything to switch up what they were doing physical activity wise. Or if they were walking in the middle of the day, say they were getting exercise or cleaning the house, I would have them sit and rest. If those contractions persist throughout changing your activity level, then you're most likely in labor, maybe early phases of labor. But either way, if the contractions do slow down and stop, that means it's not true labor. Another thing you want to watch out for is to make sure that you're hydrated. When you're dehydrated, it can send you into false labor. And with my moms, usually if they call or text and say, hey, I'm having contractions, they're kind of consistent, what do I do? The first thing I have them do is go drink a bottle of water. If they persist, then you're definitely in labor. If they do slow down or even stop, it was just because you're dehydrated. So that was a few tips to help you figure out if you are truly in labor or if it was false labor. Hopefully these tips helped you. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those in the comments below. Until next time, thanks guys.